What is up, everybody? Hope y'all had another great week. It has been insane here as far as weather-wise goes. But before we get into all that fun stuff, it is your boy Steve coming at you with another episode of Dead Men Tell Tales. With me, as always, is the fabulous
Big bald guy, John.
Big Bad John. But yeah, it's been insane weather-wise here. We've had rain like today. I promise you, there's gonna be people say there was tornadoes touched down, but like where I work at, we had limbs dropping on where we park cars, like where our cars are parked. So I left before that all went down. Um, Coming through town was flooded. There were trees laying in the middle of the road, and typical Carlisle shit. But that was now tomorrow. It'll be humid as shit, and I'll lose another 5 pounds. But hey, let's run it.
The weather here has been equally shitty and hot, so it's not been fun.
Fair point.
Forgot I was texting Steve about the episode.
But yeah, so with this episode, John is about to pull back the curtains on one of, is it Seaver or Severe?
You're not supposed to read that. I was saying, can we make that?
You did? All right, well then you fucking read it, asshole.
We're supposed to make it we were trying to see if we could make it the clip in the beginning of the episode to grab people's attention.
All right, so do it now. I'll edit the clip out. Do it. Ready, set, go.
You fucking ruined it.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
this is what we deal with, guys. This is what we deal with. But anyway, John, explain your episode tonight.
All right, it's about the Whitecaps, which were they claimed to never be the Ku Klux Klan, but they were basically the Ku Klux Klan of like the Sevier County area, Sevierville, Gatlinburg, Seymour, Wares Valley, and Pigeon Forge. So the part that Steve just so eloquently messed up for me, I actually took the time to write an intro to this one, so I was going to have him make it the clip so it's more engaging to people. Because the first couple minutes of this episode have just been back and forth. So here we go. The mountains of East Tennessee hold stories. Some are whispers over campfires. Others are carved into weathered tombstones. But every now and then one rises up like a ghost in the fog. Tonight, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of Sevier County's darkest chapters. A secret society. Ignore that bing noise. A secret society that wore hoods, claimed to fight for morality, and left blood on the back roads. This is Dead Men Tell Tales. I hope you can. Anyway, I'm your host, and tonight we're talking about the Whitecaps.
Just completely fucked out. I'm your host tonight. Fuck Steve.
That's pretty much how it goes. But anyway, so let's get started. So we're going to travel back to the late 1800s. The Civil War was over, but East Tennessee wasn't exactly at peace yet. The Appalachian Mountains were poor, isolated, and suspicious of outsiders. Sevier County, fun fact, that's where I live, a royal patch of land nestled in the Smokies, was a place of farmers, preachers, moonshiners, and whispers. And in that isolation, sometimes things festered. A group of men who believed they were above the law, or maybe they were above the law, they called themselves the Whitecaps. At the first glance, you potentially would think they're the Klan. And there were similarities: white hoods, secret meetings, beatings in the dark. The Whitecaps had their own twisted code of justice. In the early 1890s, the exact year, it depends on who you ask. Some say it was 1892, others say earlier, but the timeline and all the newspaper clippings and the book that I will tell you about at the end all says 1892. They claimed they wanted to clean up the county. No more adultery, no more drinking, no more brothels or loose women. Get these whores out of here. Yeah, there we go. The guy got Steve's attention. Okay, here we go. They said they were protecting families, but what they were really doing was terrorizing anyone who didn't fit their idea of purity. Their first known targets: single mothers, whores, widows, poor women accused of having relationships of men they weren't married to. You scantily clad whores. It was OnlyFans before the fans. Anyway, they'd send anonymous notes warning women to leave or face consequences. Then came the beatings at night in the woods. Dozens of men in white hoods would drag women from their homes, lash them, and whip them and vanish into the darkness. Some of them chicks were probably into that.
I was saying, in today's society, dude, that would be a fucking considered BDSM. And your bitch is looking for that. It'd be on their fucking Tinder profile.
And you might
Drag
wonder,
me to the woods and lash me, daddy.
you might wonder, where was the law? Well, the law did nothing because the law was them. Many of the Whitecaps were sheriff's deputies, preachers, and respected townfolk. Sevier County was their playground, and fear was the weapon they used, besides beating the shit out of people. As the time passed, the Whitecaps would get bolder. It wasn't just women anymore. They started treating men they didn't like, people who testified against them, business rivals, black residents. Though the Whitecaps' terror wasn't entirely based on race, racism was definitely in the mix. One of the horrifying crimes that they committed in 1896, the murder of William and Laura Whaley. William was a farmer, Laura was his wife. They weren't troublemakers, but the rumor spread that Laura was unfit, that she had been having an affair. The Whitecaps didn't issue a warning this time, they just came in. One night in July, the couple was ambushed in their cabin. Laura was beaten so badly that she died days later. William was tortured and left for dead in the field. And these are all true stories. Like, this is really, you can Google it, look it up, you'll find the same stuff. The county was horrified, but it was paralyzed because many still believed the Whitecaps were doing God's work. Others feared they'd be next. Let's see. I feel like I'm going too fast. I'm not matching my timelines. Good thing I made this episode like 45 minutes. I have it done in 30. But not everyone was willing to live in fear. A rival secret society known as the Blue Bills, their goal: bring down the Whitecaps, expose them, and protect the innocent. The Blue Bills were rumored to be made up of former lawmen, veterans, and locals sick of violence. They collected names and took statements, hid witnesses, and eventually they did something no one thought possible. They got the state of Tennessee to get involved. Tennessee officials, under the pressure, sent investigators into Sevier County. A special court was convened, and suddenly the Whitecaps were on the defensive. Dozens were arrested, a handful convicted, and while many of the core members escaped justice, the noose was tightened. The reign of terror was ending. By the early 1900s, the Whitecaps had lost their grip. Between court pressure, media exposure, and internal betrayal, the group fractured. Many fled, others blended back into the community. One of the leaders, Dr. William Trundle, was a respected doctor by day and a Whitecap captain at night. When they finally arrested, the town was shaken. He confessed and ordering dozens of beatings of whores and the town colored people that did not fit in. That was in the book. I didn't say that. I added the horse. His trial made national headlines. He was convicted but served a short sentence. When he returned to Sevierville, he was still treated and respected by some. That's how deep the fear of the Whitecaps went. And that's how twisted the loyalties mostly were. Today, the Whitecaps are mostly forgotten. There's no museum, no marker, just from old newspaper clippings and stories whispered by the descendants. But their legacy lives on, and the idea of that justice can be twisted into violence, danger of letting moral outrage become mob rule, and in the quiet knowledge that even in the most peaceful places, even in the mountains, terror can wear the face of your neighbors. Some say the group of men were just men of their time that were not well. What kind of justice comes from dragging women from their homes in the dead of night and beating them in the woods? What kind of morality beats people with barbed wire for gossip? Wow. I'll tell you more about it in a potentially later episode. This is a pretty big book. The truth is, the Whitecaps weren't guardians of virtue. They were vigilantes drunk on power, and the mountain of silence hid their screams for too long. Whew, I really flew through this episode. You should have texted me and told me to slow down. If you ever drive past through Sevier County, past Pigeon Forge into the hills, listen close. The trees hold secrets. The wind tells tales, and some of those tales wear white hoods. Well, this was the outro of our episode. So this has been Dead Men Tell Tales. If you like tonight's episode, subscribe and leave a review. And remember, history isn't always dead. Sometimes it just hides in hollers.
You know what we really got to work on? Is when we do scripts, time ourselves reading it.
I did. Look, that part was supposed to take 7 minutes.
Well, either way, I mean, this was a very interesting episode. I'm not gonna lie, dude. This shit has me kind of hooked. Like, I mean, when I come down to visit, I don't know. I'm gonna fucking carry one of your goddamn guns with me when I go away. Fuck
I'll
that.
let you borrow this book. Oh, and also to give the credit to the person that actually did most of, I'm going to say all the work. His name was Richard Way and Stanford Johnson. They both co-wrote this book called At the Dead Hours of Midnight. And what got me was when I picked this book up in like the history section, on the back, it has like the real oath from like the Whitecaps clubhouse. And this is what people had to learn before they can join. People read this and was like, you know what? This is the group I want to be in. This is the oath of the Whitecaps. I do solemnly swear before God and man that if I reveal anything concerning our organization, anything we may do, the penalty shall be received 100 lashings and leave the country within 10 days or be put to death. Now I take this oath freely and voluntarily and am willing to abide by the obligations in every respect. I further agree and swear before God that if I reveal anything concerning our organization, I will suffer my throat to be cut and heart to be shot out or cut out, and my body may be burned, that I will forfeit my life, my property, and all that I have in this world and the world to come. So help me God. That was the oath they had to take to join this twisted fucking group. And the book is about 400 pages.
That's insane. Like, so does the whole book cover that?
It covers most of their crimes. So this is like a 2-part series. I'm definitely going to get the next one. But like this book covers, it's too many to list, but basically it's like A through Z, and it covers what they did in 1896 to 1890, 90 to 94, 94 to 98. I mean, all the newspaper articles. It actually has the newspaper articles that were ran in Sevier. I mean, you can't really read it, but when you come down,
I'm curious if he talked to any like living relatives of these people.
Yes, they
Did they acknowledge that?
Yeah, they talk about it in the book.
No, like I'm saying, like the relative. If they came to me and were like, "Oh, your dad or your fucking great grandpa was the fucking grand wizard of the fucking KKK during this time,"
it wasn't
like,
the Klan.
My grandpa.
It was okay. Hold on. It wasn't the Klan.
I know that. I know that.
But this was in the 1890s into the early 1900s. So realistically, say your dad was born in the 50s, maybe it'd be your great grandfather. It's not that far back.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, so
Like my grandfather was born in the 30s.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. If I'm curious, like if the guy went when he was interviewing the person, like before he even how would you even reach out to that? Hey, I was doing some research and I seen that your family name actually is tied to the leader of the Whitecaps back in this date. Do you know anything about that? Like, no, we read him out of the family. He's disowned. That's great grandma's illegitimate love child.
So I'm not sure. But what they did was, so he went down to the courthouses and all right, Steve's laughing, so I'll go ahead and tell you. My last name happens to show up in the book because my family came over from like North Carolina into Eastern Tennessee, and we're in several books, and we're there in several books. And some of the stuff they did weren't really pleasant, but I can show you a history book where we saved some chick from getting her ass kicked and like raped, and then we kind of took her and she died. She's buried in Eastern Tennessee, there in like the family cemetery. I'm not saying I'm directly related to these people. I'm just saying we share the same last name.
Oh shit!
Because all of my family's from Western North Carolina, and like Upper North Carolina, so it's they kind of moved around.
See, I don't have any of that stuff. Like, I haven't really done the whole back search, but from what I understand, like my family really wasn't a real like wave maker. We just kind of went with the flow, and I'm like, the fuck's the fun in that? Obviously I'm glad like nothing bad happened. Like, one of my great relatives fucking went on a shooting spree or something like that. Like he wasn't the shooter on the hill. That's always a plus.
That was my cousin.
But
that was old Tommy Wilkes Booth.
Yep.
If anybody didn't catch that, John Wilkes Booth was the person that shot Lincoln, not the person that shot Kennedy. Some people are probably listening to that. They're like, wait a minute, Booth didn't kill JFK.
Some kid's going to use this for his history report and just get completely fucked.
Oh, he's going to fail. But yeah, so like I said, I've only read the first 4 or 5 chapters of it. It's about 300 pages. I'm probably going to do a couple episodes on it. If you guys couldn't tell in the beginning, I was trying to Steve started doing some editing, so we're going to put a clip in the beginning, hopefully, because they say that people can lose podcast attention in the first like 30 seconds if there's not like a good hook. So that's what we're working on. You'll probably see
that definitely is. I mean, all right, we're all but there. So I mean, we could take like the last 5-6 minutes here and do what we're working on, because I want to do one for the YouTube channel. I have figured out, if you've checked into the YouTube channel at all, I've figured out how to add music in there. I'm still working on the fade part of it, but I will get that. I'm pretty sure I've figured out, dude, how to take like this video that we're recording right now and actually put images over top of it.
Like overlay?
Yeah, overlay. I'm pretty sure I figured out how to do that. I want to double check it. So when you do this, send me the video because I'm going to try it. But either way, that way when John and I are talking, like we can put videos up so you guys can see it on the YouTube channel. Obviously, Spotify, you're not going to see it. But if you follow the YouTube channel, which is at Dead Men Tell Tales Pod on YouTube, and I believe that is the Instagram handle as well. So make sure you're following us on those, as we are going to start doing like reels and clips, I guess, kind of, sort of, on those. And then if I can get that, then obviously the YouTube channel will be a lot more interactive, where John and I will have pictures up and like we'll be sitting here and pointing up at, oh, this motherfucker here did this. And like we can actually have stuff like that. So that's the big thing we're working on. We've also talked about adding like sound effects in on stuff. So like prime example when John was talking about women being dragged out of their house and taken into the woods and lashed, like pretty much had like a woman screaming, fading away.
And like
So
the intro, instead of you would still hear me and Steve introduce ourselves, but before that, you would hear like a 6 to 10 second clip of the episode. The
maybe
point
that. Something else I also thought about too. Like I did that. I did it with a couple of the season 1 minisodes. I pretty much like spent the first minute and a half telling like a small story leading up to it. So that's something else we can look at. But either way, we are making positive changes to stuff. Do you guys follow the Instagram? Obviously, I've updated the podcast room I'm in. I got my desk built, so now it's just a point of getting the desktop and the monitors, and then we can go that route. Because obviously, I have a TV behind me. Like if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. So that's where we're at. As always, guys, make sure you guys are giving us feedback. Let us know how it's sounding. If you're watching the YouTube, let me know what you think of the videos. Any comments, help, hints, whatever, let us know. With that, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, the follow button, the like button, the notification button, all those lovely, lovely buttons. What the hell are you doing?
I was telling you to take a time out. I got an announcement, you dickhead.
Oh, I didn't see anything. You have your fucking hand. I can't see that.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
blinded by my ring light. You're over there. What are you doing?
So, Steve doesn't realize it yet, but I ordered a Blue Yeti microphone. So I have upgraded the microphone on my end. And the episode that comes out the weekend of the 19th, what is that? So that's going to be the 21st when it comes out. That episode for the YouTube, and we're not Joe Rogan, so Spotify won't let us actually put our videos on there. I think you could, but we got to figure that out. We need more of a follow. We need like a Joe Rogan following. But that's going to be the first live episode where you see me and Steve on the same camera doing the same recording in the same room. And that's going to be on the YouTube.
It means they're able to stick a plunger to his bald ass head.
Okay, maybe cancel the 19th. So I hopefully by the time my microphone will be here this week, I think. But so I'm doing away with the Blue Snowball for podcasting. I may use it for gaming, but I'm going to do the Blue Yeti for the podcast stuff. I've got to pick up 2 office rolly chairs. That way me and Steve aren't sitting in my little Papazon chair together looking like a fucking weirdo. And there's potentially, I got to see if it'll work. I don't know if it will because I don't know if we can take this computer setup and everything, but there are some old Confederate graveyards close by. We could potentially do an episode from there.
I'm going to the reservation. We're going to the reservation.
We'll go to the reservation too. But
auntie. I want an auntie.
Oh, Jesus. We're potentially going to do a live episode. That's not going to be a full-length episode because it could be considered disrespectful by some people. But
we'll do a recording, and I'll edit in the recording into the actual episode.
Okay, that'll work. It's about an hour from here.
A whole full setup in the middle of a damn Confederate graveyard, man. We can do a phone recording. You and I both have, royalty when it comes to phones. We're not peasants with Samsung fucking Androids. So,
oh, my sister recently. Did I tell you my sister was texting me, and I noticed her texts were not the color of goodness. And she'd been texting me back and forth for a while, and I clicked. I was like, wait a minute. I text her back, and I said, what is this peasantry? Why is your shit green? And she goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Your texts are green." She was like, "Aren't all your texts green?" And I had to go look at Steve's and Ronnie's. I was like, "No, they're blue. What
Yeah.
are you rocking the Android?" She's like, "Oh yeah." Don't act like you didn't know what I meant when I called out your peasantry. Then she proceeded to send me a 17-page book and expected me to read it. I texted her back. I said, "I ain't reading that shit. You better call me."
Yeah, that's why I hate it. Like, dude, there's certain times where it goes one of one, two of, or fucking one of three, one, two of three, three. I'm like, no, we're not reading pages here, damn it.
Oh, it was a full. It wasn't. I'm exaggerating on 17, but it was 9 different messages
Oh
back
my
to back
god.
to back, and every one of them was 160 characters. I guarantee it. There was a pair. She's planning her. Congratulations to my sister. She's doing her vow renewal in 2027, and thought it was a good idea to send me 9 paragraphs 2 years early. Congratulations. Happy for you.
Way to go.
I'll be there in 2027, and I'm still not going to read those text messages.
That's the jerky sister, right?
Yeah, my mother doesn't talk to me. I called her a cunt like 6 years ago, and she ain't said a word to me in 6 years.
Fair enough.
Oh, one word shut down a whole sibling fucking solution. And she started it. She said some mean stuff to me too, and then I hit her with that old "see you next Tuesday," and that was it.
Oh yeah, dude, that'll shut it. But yeah, guys. So I mean, that's what we have planned for what we've got going on. Obviously, like I said in a couple episodes here, we're taking it more seriously. Like we're gonna drop money on it, but it's not gonna be massive amounts of money. Like, doesn't make sense to us. So we are gonna work on stuff. Obviously, I'm working on the editing, getting it to look better and potentially sound better. So bear with us as we go. As always, guys, appreciate you listening. We'll catch you next week. And until next time, peace.
See you guys later.